Hello and welcome to another episode of Crush Cravings Before Diabetes Crushes You. I'm your host, Karen Sammer. I am a National Board Certified Health and Wellness Coach, and I help people who are overweight and pre-diabetic to overcome the cravings that keep them from being able to lose the weight so they can lose the weight and avoid a lifetime of diabetes and diabetes medications. And today, what I'd like to talk to you about is type 3 diabetes. Type 3 diabetes is closely correlated to Alzheimer's disease. It's actually considered Alzheimer's disease is considered type 3 diabetes. So as you may or may not know, diabetes is a very serious concern. It affects millions of people in the population. It is growing into an epidemic in our society. And it is taking a huge hit, or it is a huge drain on our medical system. Now, it has been in 2019, which was 5 years ago, it was determined that about 10% of the global population was considered diabetic. And that's only the people that know about it. It is expected to rise over the years, and as we go further into the next decade, in the next couple of decades, it's going to become astronomically debilitating to our medical system. So there are some reasons that diabetes generally is an issue. Our population globally is aging, especially in the developing countries. And of course, as you live longer, you are more likely to develop these types of diseases. I mean, just the numbers will say the longer you live, the more likely it is that you could be susceptible to certain illnesses. And like I said, it puts a tremendous strain on our healthcare system, on our social services systems, on families, on caregivers of any kind. And it is actually in Vietnam, which is not the U.S., but it still indicates the global concept. Diabetes is projected to become one of the top 7 diseases that cause death and disability by 2030. So within the next 5 years, that is going to be well within the top 10 diseases, top 7 that will kill people, because diabetes is not. It is considered incurable. It can go into remission, but once you have it, you have to be vigilant in order to not let it take you down that path. So I'm sure that you've heard of type 1 and type 2 diabetes. Type 1 is what used to be called juvenile diabetes, and it was usually something that manifested itself in early childhood in people. And what it is, it's an autoimmune disorder where your pancreas just doesn't do what it's supposed to do. It does not provide insulin, so you end up on an insulin pump or some injectable insulin for your entire life. That is not the diabetes that I talk about, because that's a whole different situation. That is not something that develops over time generally. I mean, sometimes it can. Something can go wrong, and it can, but usually it's type 2 diabetes, and now type 3 and even type 4, which we'll talk a little bit about. So type 2 diabetes, 90% of the cases of type 2 diabetes, it is estimated, are related to an overweight condition, whether you're overweight or obese. And it is often brought on by lifestyle and nutrition choices that you've made over time. So if that's the case, then you can prevent it. You can put it in remission or even reverse it. Maybe doctors will not say that it's being reversed, but putting it in remission if you make the choices that are going to support you rather than make you sick. So type 2 diabetes usually comes, it used to be called adult onset diabetes because it came later in life. And it was a result of a lifetime of choices that you made or didn't make, things that you've done or didn't do. And, as your body ages, things don't work quite as well as they used to sometimes if you don't take good care of them. But it's been found that type 2 diabetes is now showing up in younger and younger people as young as 10 years old because of the obesity rate within children, their sedentary lifestyle, the fast food and processed foods that they're eating on a daily basis, the sugary drinks that they drink, whether it's soda or juices. Juices are really no better than soda when it comes to inundating your body with sugar. And so, as a result of that, younger and younger people are developing diabetes, which is really sad, because then they have set themselves up for a lifetime of potential misery if they don't do something to change it, or if somebody doesn't help them do something to change it. When they're 10 years old, they really don't have the power to do it themselves, so they have to rely on the adults around them. That's type 2 diabetes. Now, type 3 diabetes is what we came here to talk about today, and that has as I said, a relationship with Alzheimer's disease. Because Alzheimer's is a buildup of plaques and some tangly stuff that goes on in your brain and just some breakdown of brain cells and causing you to develop dementia and essentially retract back into, you sort of, everything retracts and you kind of fold back into yourself and you lose the ability to function. It's really quite a sad thing to watch. I've seen it a couple of times in my life and it's very sad. But with type 3 diabetes, that is linked to insulin resistance within your brain. And what happens is when your brain cells are insulin resistant, they're not getting the glucose that they need to function, and ultimately they die off, which causes you to lose your capacity to function, essentially. It causes severe memory and cognitive depletion. And since Alzheimer's is already the 6th leading cause of death in the United States, and it's the 5th leading cause of death in people who are over 65, which hits a little close to home for me. As I said, I have seen Alzheimer's, the effects of Alzheimer's on members of my family. So genetically, there may be some predisposition for me. I don't care to find out because I'm not going to let that be my future. But it is, it's important that if you know that there is some some cognitive decline in your lineage, in your family life, in your family lineage, you want to make sure that you take steps to not make that your future. And there are things that you can do for that. Now, type 3 diabetes, as I said, is the insulin resistance in your brain cells, causing your brain cells not to get the glucose they need and to die off eventually. So, as we talked about, we have type 1, type 2, type 3 diabetes. This is a new perception, or new concept, essentially, in the scientific community, or in the medical community, in diabetes study. But it's been a known fact that obesity and insulin resistance are closely correlated to dementia, Alzheimer's, and other forms of dementia, and other neurodegenerative diseases. And so when you become insulin resistant, you're insulin resistant all over your body, not just in your limbs, because often your limbs you're compromised because circulation isn't good, and you could lose toes, you could lose fingers, you could lose feet, legs. You could have amputations happen as a result of advanced diabetes that is not within control, or it hasn't been controlled. And then there's type 4 diabetes. Type 4 diabetes is like type 3 diabetes, only it doesn't have the obesity link to it, because there are people who are diabetic who are not overweight. And there could be a number of reasons why that is the case. People who become diabetic later in life who are not overweight may not be making the right food choices, maybe consuming too much alcohol, which has a lot of sugar in it and has other impairment qualities to it, or just not making good food choices. They may be one of those people who are naturally thin, who don't necessarily develop obesity or don't become obese as a result of the food choices that they make, but they may not be making the right food choices. They may be staying within a low calorie count, but if they're eating donuts all day for their sustenance, that's going to have an impact. There are steps that you can take that will help you to reverse the conditions that these things cause, these lifestyle and nutrition choices cause. You can absolutely do things to reverse the condition that you're in. You can slow down the cognitive decline if you are giving your body the right nourishment that it needs. If you're able to reverse your insulin resistance, if you're keeping your blood sugar within a healthy level, and if you're doing things that are going to make you healthy in the long run. And these are what I consider common sense things. Now, they may not be for everybody because I've just been living this for such a long time. But I'm going to give you some tips on how to possibly delay the onset, or even stop it, the onset of cognitive decline as a result of insulin resistance. Number one would be your nutrition choices. Now, you can exercise your way to kingdom come. But if you're not making the right nutrition choices, you're still doing your body a big disservice. Weight loss and weight management and just healthy lifestyle is 90% nutrition, 10% everything else. Maybe 80% nutrition, 10% exercise, 10% everything else. Let's go way on, way back when. I didn't even know you. You couldn't have been too much more than 10. So if you're making the right food choices on a regular basis, and I would say follow a 90-10 rule, 90% of the time, make healthy choices, and 10% you might go off the rails a little bit. But the more often you make the healthy choices, the more habitual that becomes, and you are less likely to go off the rails. And it is less likely to be appealing to you. Because just like the habit of grabbing that cookie every time you walk past the cookie tray in the office, just because you develop that habit, you can develop a better habit, something that's going to be beneficial to you rather than slowly kill you. So eating healthy foods, having a balanced diet that has plenty of fruits and vegetables, a mostly plant-based diet, whole grains, lean proteins if you choose to eat animal protein, and healthy fats. And this can help you to regulate your blood sugar and it can prevent weight gain, and it can help you to lose weight. And the important thing is that everything is in, you want to eat things that are unprocessed, come from nature. They come from a plant rather than being made in a plant. Mostly, you should have primarily plant-based food with a little bit of animal products if you so choose. But eating from the rainbow, eating lots of different colors of your vegetation, whether it's fruits or vegetables. Eat mostly vegetables, some fruit. Fruit's got a lot of sugar in it, but it also has a lot of other healthy ingredients. But you want to make sure that your plant consumption is mostly veggies and some fruit. You want to get regular exercise. And regular exercise doesn't mean you have to run a marathon every week. You could take a half an hour walk once a day. Get out in nature. Smell the flowers. Listen to the birds. Feel the air on your face. Get the sunshine on your face. Get your vitamin D. And every so often, maybe ramp it up a little bit. Do a hike, or go for a bike ride, or go swimming, or go dancing, or something that's going to raise your heart rate, just to keep your cardiovascular system healthy. But all of this exercise will help also to regulate your blood sugar. And it's especially helpful if you take a walk after you eat. So even if you eat a meal and you take a quick 10-minute walk outside your door, just to regulate your blood sugar, that will help you to keep things in check in a big way. It helps your digestion as well, because you keep things moving. You're not going to just sit. If you sit in front of the TV after you eat a big meal, it's just kind of sit there. But if you're out moving and you need the food for energy, you're going to burn up what's already there, but then you're going to bring in that food as part of your energy stores, and it keeps your metabolism going even after you stop the exercise. It keeps your metabolism going for a little bit after that. You want to make sure you maintain a healthy weight. And if you are overweight, losing just 10% of your body weight has a huge positive impact on your well-being and your longevity. So I would encourage you that if you are overweight, to start taking steps to manage that weight and bring that down into the healthy range for your body type and for your height. And the main way you do that is by choosing foods that are going to nourish you rather than poison you, and making sure that you move your body in a moderate way on a daily basis. You want to make sure if you are in the danger zone, or if you know that your blood sugar is creeping up, or your blood sugar has been unstable, you want to make sure that you monitor those blood sugar levels. And there are easy ways to do that. You can buy a monitoring stick or kit from the drugstore, and stick your finger every so often, however often you're supposed to do that, and check your blood sugar levels. And then if your blood sugar levels are not where you'd like them to be, take the steps to get them there by really tightening up your nutrition choices and moving your body a little bit more. You also want to manage your stress. So stress, especially unrelenting stress, produces cortisol in your body. Cortisol is one of your stress hormones. Cortisol and epinephrine. Epinephrine is your fight or flight hormone. Those are the things that you produce in mass when you're under stress, because your body does not know the difference between running from a tiger or a looming deadline at work, or kids who are driving you crazy, or finances that are out of control. Your body doesn't know the difference. All it knows is there's danger and I need to do something. So it produces cortisol and increases blood sugar, because it perceives that you need energy to get away from the tiger or get away from the danger. But if you're under unrelenting stress and that constant production of cortisol and epinephrine is happening, you are constantly barraging your body with high levels of blood sugar to the point where you become insulin resistant, and then then you become, ultimately will become diabetic. So managing your blood, your stress levels, relaxing when you can, and making sure that you are doing things to mitigate the stress, whether it's deep breathing or stepping away for a few minutes or meditation or mindfulness. All of these things are tools that will help you to manage your stress so that you are not bouncing your blood sugar all over the place as a result of the stress levels that you're under. And here we go. Couldn't change my page here. And if you are in danger, or if you know that you are on a slippery slope to pre-diabetes, metabolic syndrome, diabetes, get regular checkups so that you are monitoring things properly with your doctor. Have a conversation with your doctor to see what you can do before they actually prescribe medication, if you're not sure of what you can do. One thing you can do is work with a health coach, somebody who is trained in nutrition, trained in lifestyle management, trained in stress management, trained in ways to help you to overcome these afflictions before they become a medical issue that you have no choice but to be medicated for. And in my training, as I said, I'm a board certified health and wellness coach. I'm also a certified nutritional consultant. And I can help you to identify the foods that are going to be the best bang for your buck. I'm going to teach you how to live your lifestyle in a way that is manageable for you, because if it's not manageable, it's not sustainable. You might go great guns for a week, but you can't manage that level of intensity for whatever program you're on. So it's important to find things that are manageable within your own life, whatever the circumstances of your particular life are. It's really important that you are able to sustain changes in the long term, because my clients don't go on a diet. They make lifestyle and nutrition changes for life. They identify things that they can live with, that they can live with, and that will help them to live longer and healthier. And we work together to make those determinations. So it's not a temporary fix. I expect my clients to be in it for the long haul. It's not just once and done. This is a forever thing. You have to make the changes, because what you've been doing up to now is what got you where you are. And it's important that you realize that, and it's important that you commit yourself to making the changes. And they're not easy all the time. They don't have to be impossible. They're not impossible. You don't have to eat the whole elephant at one time. You do small incremental changes, and over time that has a massive impact on the state of your health in a positive way. So I encourage you to go to my website. It's yourpoweryourhealth.com, and look around. There are blog posts there that'll be very helpful to you. There are recipes there. No meat, because I don't eat meat. There are other things there as well. So feel free to go onto my website, look around. And while you're there, why don't you book a free consultation with me? You get me for an hour. You sign up. We talk about where you are. We'll talk about what your goals are. And we'll get some action steps in there for you to get from where you are to where you want to be. You will walk away with some action steps. If you feel like you'd like to work with me, that's great. If not, no big deal. You'll still get some action steps that will help you to start you on your healthy journey. If you work with me, I will see you through to the end. and to where you are comfortable flying alone. So please, I encourage you, it's a freebie. It's a free consultation. Go and sign up for it because you really can't go wrong. There's nothing to lose when you do that. It is not going to be a strong sell. It's not going to be a sell at all. It's going to be you and me talking, and it's going to be us identifying what is doable for you in order for you to maintain the changes that you need to make in order to get to the weight that you want to be at, where you are. You don't have to be bikini ready. This is not about that. My clients are usually older than caring about a bikini. But that doesn't mean that you have to be old to be working with me, because I've worked with very young people as well. It's about being healthy. It's about having a body that you can live in for the rest of your life and be healthy and vibrant and function in society as an independent human being, and not have to be relying on other people to take care of you because you've lost your mind to diabetes 3, or because you've lost your ability to walk, or you've lost your ability to function on your own. These things don't have to happen necessarily. They happen very often as a result of the choices that we've made over many years of time. So you can make other choices. You can make the choices that are going to give you longevity and vibrancy till the end of your life. Or you can make the choices that are going to make you an infirmed invalid. Now, there are many degrees in between those two choices. I'm always going from one extreme to the other. But there's no reason why you can't be vibrant for many years beyond retirement. So think about that. I am Karen Sammer from Your Power, Your Health, Nutrition and Health Coaching. I am a board-certified health and wellness coach, and I can help you to overcome the cravings so you can lose the weight and avoid diabetes. Thank you for listening.